Yakuza 5. Like a Dragon, the fifth fulfiller of Yumi's, otherwise known as Akiyama Game 2, that other game with Akiyama in it, is the newest beat-em-up life experience, taxi driving Cabela's big game hunt something about baseball. What am I playing? You play as a shared consciousness of 5 dorks across Japan, all attempting to fulfill the will and legacy of the third most unlikable girl to have ever lived, with the help of unlikely alliances and the other two. Kiryu Kazuma, disgruntled assault charge enthusiast and everyone's favorite angry dad. Taiga Saejima, Majima's large Yakuza brother and secretly a very dignified man despite wearing camo pants in his winter city. Haruka Sawamura, I don't really know what to say about her. Tatsuo Shinada, former pro baseball guy, the best part of the game despite basically having nothing to do with it, and at the bottom left of both the poverty line and IQ to salary chart. And here's the kicker. Please understand that this game is too large to fit within the confines of reason. And as someone who had to play this 60-hour-long game start to finish in like a week, I can attest that prolonged exposure to Yakuza 5 is near lethal and may result in symptoms such as temporary blindness, nerve damage, and enjoying pain inflicted on others. Longtime observers of the cataclysm that is my internet presence may remember the eloquent retrospective on Yakuza 2, but to really get a grasp of what's going on here, I should discuss the events of the next game over, that being Yakuza 4. Oh, right. Yakuza 3 was that time where they decided to equip Kiryu with state-of-the-art invisible sock boppers, which by correlation is probably why I didn't play it. It's probably fine, I guess, but I don't really care how bricked you got to John Fly or the roof. Me and you don't have time. Kiryu runs an orphanage now, and Daigo became the head of the Tojo clan, got shot into a coma, collapsed out of his coma, and immediately began shooting people. That's all you need to know. Yakuza 4 follows the life and times of Trickster, Swordmaster, Gunslinger, and Royal Guard. As a disgraced banker, probably, Akiyama was a former smelly hobo until the Millennium Tower explosion, the first one, where he collected the gang money that fell from it and through loan sharking, which replaces interest with jigsaw puzzles, multiplied that to 100 billion yen, which he then threw away. And then he made it back. Kiryu punches an entire Yakuza clan into dissolution, and then Daigo for being a nerd. Saejima breaks himself out from his 25 years in the joint, continues having the worst playable section, and goes balls out. Tanimura is never brought up again. Anyway, so the Yakuza 5, we're talking about the Would you look at that? It's our man Diego Dodge Ram at a peace talk with the world's oldest guy so that the Tojo can make an alliance with Red, reliable excavation demolition. So anyways, the talks go fine.
Dude, what are you doing?
I drive. Daigo begins asking me for help with his Tokyo-based company, and as a tried and true absentee father, I immediately kick him off for not paying his fare. Being a deadbeat can be tough, especially when people start thinking they can diss you accidentally to your face just because you're supposed to be paying alimony. Why do they need the cash? I am Nagasugai's town loser, Taichi Suzuki, and I currently need to get a gift for a fellow taxi firm for my 31st head-on collision this month. So after buying them the most top-shelf tin of dog food, I pay off the orphanage, mostly for their silence, and my boss takes me out for some payday drinking. He says that after this we should go to a cabaret club. I never join the other guys from the office whenever they go, and quite frankly, they're starting to think I'm gay. I will not stand for these baseless rumors, so I join him. We meet totally not relevant to anything hostess Mayumi, and Kiryu is... Eventually, we both notice 2 plastered Yakuza goons, and I decide to begin inflicting sobriety. By this point, the shock of being challenged by 2 guys in Nike sweatpants after 4 games of playing as Japanese Batman, alongside the single fish skeleton that probably comprises your healing inventory, makes this potentially one of the hardest fights in the game. Such a dumb, fat, idiot Kiryu loser in his apartment when he is visited by his lover. His girlfriend. His girlfriend is Mayumi. He's not gay. Tomorrow consists of the taxi driving minigame. Pedestrians are not programmed to be able to notice your car. At the end of his shift, Kirchi Kazuki is visited by 2 Tojo clan cronies, telling me that Daigo has gone missing after I took him for a drive. Stooge 1 and Mook 2 believe that as the 4th chairman of the clan who resigned on the first day, it's my responsibility to track him down. So after convincing them that they've got the wrong guy, we begin a flashback or something about that time 6 months ago when Haruka left the orphanage to become a pop star, and Kiryu left to drive, because simply put, they broke. The next day, I see those guys having a dispute with one of the red dudes that the Tojo clan was attempting to ally with. Huh, that's strange, I thought to myself at my house as they kicked down the door asking for medical aid. Everyone's pretty sure Daigo got kidnapped, and the Omi Alliance, a rival clan to the Tojo, probably did it, so I begin engaging with the video game gameplay such as Revelations. Sometimes you can see dumb things happen, whip out your phone to put it on World Star, proceed to watch violence, and extrapolate fighting techniques from it.
I need to run people over with my car!
Anyway, so I get interrupted by this cop who knows my secret Kiryu-chan identity. He's from Osaka, not here. The reason being his department has looked like a joke ever since a famous Yakuza hunter lady detective got too friendly with the Tojo clan's 4th chair... Oh. My bad. As a civilian who can punch real good, he needs Kiryu to de-escalate things with the Yomi Alliance's patriarch Watase, aka Frank Woods from the Duty of Call, who is in walking distance at the cabaret right now. After beating up his right-hand men, we find out he doesn't know where Daigo is. He showed up here to meet Kiryu, and his ultimate goal is to die covered in other people's blood. So, okay. That only leaves Watase's sworn brother Patriarch Aoyama as a suspect, so after me and the cronies conduct a classic Yakuza building punching through, Aoyama apparently stabbed the world's oldest guy, planted a bomb, then shoots Stooge 1 and plays the victim. So yeah, I think he did it. After violently explaining myself, I exit the building just in time for Aoyama to have it liquefied. Back at home, my girlfriend is continuing to be annoying. I'm saving myself for my future wife! Goro Majima! Mayumi was apparently a Fed the whole time, working for the old guy who wants me to dissolve his clan. Next step is to track down the hideout of the red guys. Wait, hold on, didn't they just get like, whatever. I look up a guide on what to do because no, and meet the leader of the goons to turn in the forms they've been waiting on. Hey, I need you to declare war on the Tojo clan. It's gonna be really funny. Conflict of interest? Is that a no? Same night on the docks, the Yahata family and the Tojo clan show up for some good old-fashioned lead pipe-based colonoscopies, but what they did not account for is me, the rubber glove. I asked the Yahata family to declare war, not fight it. See, I have purchased and consumed several million yen worth of under-the-counter 5-hour energies, and when the brominated vegetable oil hits my heart, I'm killing everybody. It's time for the 1v100, because every Yakuza game is mandated to have at minimum one segment where it turns into Dragon Ball. I'm not describing this part, that's not my job. You have to play it and reduce your brain size to that of a crawfish. After that, I begin the process of having Aoyama printed on a shirt unless he speaks up, but before he does, his head does that thing where it was Stooge 1 telling us that he didn't betray Daigo. Daigo just ran off and... Okay, no, Daigo's probably dead, he died. The cop told us that there's a mole within the Tojo clan, not Stooge 1, that's a different guy, I think, and also someone was found dead. There was a shooting in Sapporo the other day. The victim was a high-ranking lieutenant in the largest crime syndicate in the nation. He was Goro Majima. Alright, so yeah, I need you to ignore this, and also this. Majima is definitely dead. Alright, yeah, I'm keeping this brief. 12 minutes after the events of Yakuza 4, Saejima and midlife crisis Majima are currently making the mistake of eating at Arby's. Saejima, after 25 years in the joint, is deciding to do another too because of, for one, the Morning Glory incident, and also he gets to be a Yakuza captain when he gets out, so to make sure you're up to snuff, Majima makes you fight like 20 people and still calls you a wimp. Saejima's gameplay requires roughly the same brain activity as being in a vegetative state, and your Monster Hunter Rise health bar means that healing is a side quest in the process of inverting someone's skeleton. Great, okay, Saejima is now in prison with a guy named Bubba and the other two that don't matter. Living in prison ain't so bad, with its abundant hospitality, philosophical conversations with your fellows, and the fun game I play with my cellmates, which is the Amori dream sequences, except Saejima's sister is even more dead. And also, of course, the other prisoners are considerate enough to beat me on a weekly basis, perpetrated by this dude who probably got here by felonies no one is even able to describe. So you know, you win some, you lose some. The next day though, it turns out that he took Bubba into his warehouse, who in turn stabbed one of the guys, but no, he didn't. It was a setup. Look, repeatedly sodomizing me with garden tools such as trowels and rakes, that's fine, but no one accuses my Bubba. Turns out that was exactly what he wanted me to do, and I'm not getting my parole that was gonna get me out like tomorrow. Worse than that, I've just been kicked from the Tojo clan. What did I do? And also, I find out Majima's dead, and my deputy commissioner informs me that the Kitakata family has personally transferred in 100 Craigslist assassins to kill me and Bubba. But it's fine, because he's allowing us to send each and every one of them to the infirmary and breakout, so you do that and get on the snowmobile, and fall off the snowmobile and encounter the Kitakata family bear. I'm gonna punch it. I awake in a small hunting village with a man telling me of a giant bear named Yama Orochi that has been terrorizing this mountain for the past 9 years, and he's leaving to hunt it down and end the threat for good. Yeah, sounds neat. After 3 mandatory hours of helping out, me and Bubba, whom I pulled out of the snow from somewhere, make our way to Hokkaido. And we're wanted by the authorities. Well, I am. They think he's dead. We begin the process of tracking down the man who killed Majima, Patriarch Kitakata, while evading the police and attempting to survive in an unwalkable city. And in much the same way as a church confession, this is my favorite map in the whole Yakuza franchise, and I don't know what entity possesses me to think like that. You cannot go through Sukamino streets without a crosswalk. What do you think I was gonna do, huh? I'm an escaped convict, not a jaywalker. In the search for the Yakuza family, I get to the point where you have to choose between paying a decently large sum of money or win one game of pool. This is gonna sound weird, but you should probably just pay the money. You have not experienced suffering until you've experienced Yakuza 5 pool. After being given the choice of the normal disguise and the normaler disguise, we find Daigo Kitakata enjoying the festivities alongside a team of snipers. How are we ever going to approach him? The answer is, we already did. But as it turns out, he didn't kill Majima, and instead told us that Majima was mysteriously assassinated while seemingly knowing a lot about the current mole situation. So, you know, real good guy, that Kitakata, real nice. Okay. Plot twist, it was Bubba, the orchestrator of basically everything that happened in this part. He begins his bipolar monologue where he explains that his entire goal was to control the length of your sentence by hiring Kugihara and creating his fake sob story, but also he's really sorry and doesn't want to lie anymore. Sajima, like me, is not doing a great job in understanding anything that's going on. Bubba explains that someone's pulling his strings and one of us has to die here, and he's going to use his go-to coping mechanism, which is to kill himself. No, Bubba, that's dumb, you're dumb, so I'm gonna beat the fear of God into you. Okay, good. I gotta go get arrested. You're dismissed. Remember Cop Dude? Well, he's just made the decision that I'll be shipped off to Tokyo and also tells me about the mole in the Tojo clan. You know that? I don't know if you knew that. There's a mole in the Tojo. Flashback number 3, I don't know, I'm not counting. Kiryu was having a nice conversation with a prospect serial killer about sending Haruka off to work in the Hatsune Miku Project Diva Megamix Plus. This is done through straight up bullying. She ensures that the orphanage will be sufficiently funded, which it will not be, and Kiryu, 3 months of stamina and royale withdrawal in, complies with. Both Kiryu and Haroku's believe this is what the other wants. Now in present day Sotenbori 6 months in, oh yeah, she's still there. This stand-in for predatory idol industry hiring tactics is apparently a real character called Park. You're supposed to like Park. I hate Park. Look, it takes a dead-eyed sociopath to recognize another, and since I've sure got that qualification, let me yap to you. Park spends every scene she's in either saying things that are kind of true and then things that are absolutely insane, straight up gaslighting, trauma dumping for any reason, and generally just being sketchy. I sure hope the protagonist isn't eavesdropping on me. Hey, listen, for worrying about the well-being of the pop star I've arbitrarily decided will carry the fate of the business, I'm firing you now without lease using some fine print I've added to your contract all 5 minutes ago, so please... But it's okay, because her parents forced her to eat cement when she was a baby, and also if you lose, I'll stop supporting the orphanage in Okinawa. Okay, yeah, great. Haruka's gameplay is entirely just dame dane dame yo dame dano yo rhythm games, and the occasional fan meetup.
So bright. Thank you very much. Give me a second.
Yes, they did remove combat from this part, and no, I don't agree. But regardless, we meet our rivals, which is a duo named T-Set. I have a feeling we're gonna be great friends. So after the first round of the Princess League tournament, alright, cool. Park sends me out to find a dance instructor to replace the one she fired. Those twerps show up again, tell me the brooch I just bought is gay and retarded, and threaten to put me and my agency under unless I beg them not to. Just as I began praying for our Lord and Savior Akiyama to show up and heel kick them into separate traumatic comas, everyone's favorite C-suite executive Park tells them that they are being very mean right now. Haruka notices that she's writing with her left hand, obviously because her right hand got injured, but also because her abusive foster parents made her switch to using her non-dominant hand when really... Anyways, that's why she can write real good. Haruka and Park leave for some parental bonding due to Haruka's terminal mommy issues, and she gives me a fancy fountain pen and mentions it was a gift from her ex-husband who beat her. You aren't going to believe who that guy is, by the way, but anyways, he did it from an emotional outburst from Park getting pregnant when she aborted it/them instantly without telling him because she too wanted to be a pop star. You can't even get domestically abused sympathetically. You can't even do that right. So she hands me the pen and tells me to hand it back to her conveniently unnamed ex-husband and also a note, and then the next morning she that... We're not gonna have to deal with her anymore. Akiyama is preparing to open up a new Sotenbori branch of the Sky Finance Loan Company. Currently, he's chain-smoking 32 cigarettes and negotiating with some rather unpalatable customers. Akiyama gameplay consists of everything except punching, and that everything does include air combos. He only ever uses his hands to hold people in place as he turns his crime drama into a snuff film, and also his theme is like the coolest thing ever. Postscript, in the feudal Japan Yakuza spinoff where you can fight Akiyama, they remixed this with a drill beat. I feel like I should tell you that. Also, yeah, the dance battles, he can do the dance This is the best game ever made. Anyway, now that we've defibrillated the plot, Akiyama is told that someone he loaned off to has just died. Her name's Park. Oh yeah, it's the worst game ever made. So after meeting Harangus, Akiyama explains that he lent $300 million to Park, and because he designates trials to his clients before giving them the money, Park's challenge was to do a bunch of odd jobs and probably die. But it worked out fine for a time. That money is mysteriously gone and she is dead. Akiyama explains he personally would have killed himself more efficiently and also finds that the money had already been spent by Park on a concert Haruka's gonna do in Tokyo, specifically in Japan's version of Fenway. Keep in mind, Park got that loan specifically immediately after creating Haruka's contract, which at first I thought was a cliche, oh, you're a special kid, I see the Spock in your eyes. But then I realized it actually makes perfect sense. Haruka did not have an alternative. Park spent 2 to 6 weeks doing agonizing physical labor with nothing but the will to blackmail and exploit a little girl to fulfill her dream. She's basically Griffith. Anyways, we open her safe with the pen and find out that the note was written right-handed, so yeah, she was definitely killed. Huh, not a whole lot of faith in the workplace this time of year. That guy was pushed off by the fired dance instructor and everyone's favorite guy, Big Jimmy, and fired extinguisher. 2 fire extinguishers. So after the second round of the Princess League tournament, alright cool, the biggest suspect in icing Park is a rival in the idol business named Kitsuya, who, when prompted, hands me a check for a new job he just gave me to shut up about this to anyone who asks. Dude, I wasted $1 billion in USD of my own money to make a cool helicopter engine 2 years back. I smoke that for breakfast. So after the final round of the Princess League tournament, alright, cool. Anyway, so Tisa half-heartedly apologizes for ruining my life, and my vocal coach remarks on how they're actually way better kids than we thought they were. No! Miss me with this Sophia the First shovelware. This is Yakuza! I should be killing you right now! Top dude shows up in my office and tells me that the Yomi Alliance is perpetrating everything, and after some goons show up and I negotiate a $0 loan with the challenge of go to the ICU, I track down the Yomi's rusty dirt pile, begin the raid with my own 2 feet, and watch several people simply die. We find the fire dance instructor with his arm having been crushed off, which Akiyama finds very funny. He does not, however, seem to have any personal disdain for this man. I think he just likes the suffering. After we know Akiyama has had prolonged exposure to Yakuza 5, he informs us that his and Big Jimmy's true goal was finding Park's ex-husband's note for some reason. She walked in on them trying to steal it, so he kinda had to bash her skull against the wall a few times and chuck her lifeless corpse off the roof, and good thing for him that the autopsy somehow didn't notice how she committed suicide multiple times while landing on the back of her head. Once I made my way to Big Jimmy, he said he kidnapped Haruka for the 5th time and left. Great. It was at this moment that I realized I must have hit him with the fire extinguisher too hard because he tried to get her to talk about the letter through the duct tape. His boss, Kitsuya, apparently thinks so too. So he decides to kindly deposit Haruka at the agency's couch and explains that the letter's importance comes from tracking down Park's deceased ex, aka Goro Majima. Majima beat his wife. Yeah, he'd do that. Shortly after leaving, he calls Haruka and threatens her by phone into giving it up. Haruka, having learned nothing, goes to do that, but instead Big Jimmy is there against his boss's will and Akiyama... So after kicking them, wait, no, you can't do that. We decide to take a train to do the concert anyways because we're here and there's trains. Cut back to Big Jimmy in Kitsuya's office. He's not all that mad, instead choosing to kindly reassure Jimmy to avoid lapses of judgment like this in the future. So anyways, flashback to the introduction of the last character chapter, which is the Mets, baby. Love the Mets. All right, baby, let's go. Get a home run, baby. 15 years back, I was a baseball sensation for the Wyverns, you know, for that one time I hit the ball and then was accused of cheating. Currently, I'm getting bugged by my best friends, aka my land chat and my loan shark for money I don't and probably will never have. But it could be worse. I could be Polish. Anyways, aforementioned loan shark Takasugi says he can get me a gig at the penis shredding factory. Service guarantees circumcision. I assure him that it's perfectly fine and I can instead continue work on my anime ASMR YouTube channel with the help of my trusty voice changer and the help of local brothel prostitutes who record vocal samples which I'm going out to get. So yeah, if any of you at home share in Haruka's terminal mommy issues and ever wondered who was really whispering those sweet nothings in your ear behind that video, it was this guy. You're welcome. So after helping out with some family drama with my somehow applicable baseball knowledge and cashing in my fat ad revenue paycheck, all of it is snatched by Takasugi, bringing my current debt down to a manageable $3 gazillion. I take my remaining 2 to the baseball center to win the $50 and Happy Meal toy prize, which Takasugi yet again snatches. Darn. Anyway, Shinada's gameplay is unique in the sense of while every other protagonist has some idea of what they're doing at the bare minimum, Shinada imagines everyone is a baseball and recently now owns an infinite durability metal pipe. He's the most proficient in using weaponry, and to get weaponry, you have to pay a decent sum of money. So yeah, when I have some of the stuff, I'll be sure to buy the weapon. On my way home, I encounter an unhinged man in a trench coat who knows exactly who I am and gives me a Bali autograph saying he has a job for me. He's gonna give me 20 million yen if I find out why my first and only home run got me accused of match fixing. What he does not know is Shinada has been diagnosed to have crippling anaphylaxis in regards to stacking his bread, and even if he didn't, that day was really embarrassing and I don't wanna! However, after some positive affirmation by Takasugi, I decide to get started. So, someone framed Shinada for stealing signs. I don't know anything about baseball, you're on your own for that. Firstly though, Shinada meets his prostitute friend and they discuss running away together like in all those movies, that is, before she gets a call and makes the comically depressing remark of better get back to reality. Okay, yeah, fine, time to get to work. First step, the team's old massage guy, Yuno. I've got questions and he's got a clinic, which he isn't in right now. Shinada, knowing Yuno, figures he's either at the red light district or here and he's not here, so after looking around a bit and getting bored, Takasugi calls him and schedules an appointment in his best Discord kitten voice. This guy's good. So we make our way there. Ow! So we make no. Yuno doesn't remember any tomfoolery going on, but remembers one of the more suspicious players on our team that we can ask. So we make our way there. Not again. That guy explains that there was match fixing going on in our team, specifically by the Nagoya family, an undercover Yakuza gang that operates around these parts, and that's probably what caused those incidents, which he somehow knows about. Anyways, I then witnessed this guy get murdered, and it was by another former member of my team, Sakai. Alright, yeah, that speed thing go on. Sakai tells me that the accusation wasn't no stroke of bad luck. I was actively sacrificed, and oh my god, how many things do they have on the roof to throw at me? Checking the data, it seems that the Wyverns and this town changed after my scandal 15 years back, and the only dude who knows why is Mr. Spaghetti Ushijima. Mr. Spaghetti. He tells us that the scandal allowed the Nagoya family to take control, who protect the small businesses and do other cool things like killing me. Suddenly we get a call that Yuno got jumped and our brothel friend has just been escorted away. Yeah, she got kidnapped. At the scene, it turns out that the Nagoya family isn't composed of gangsters, but ordinary people such as her boss, Mr. Spaghetti, and an old lady that may or may not have shown up earlier. Someone's pulling their strings, I know, but they have to kill me now. However, they don't account for one thing. I don't have life insurance. It's time for fun game development facts. Video games often tie the speeds of some things to the frame rate, which is a flawless way of doing things that occurs no issues, especially when you're gonna do it for another guy's forklift that's gonna chase me, create a remaster that doubles the frame rate, and forget half the speed of the forklift. Shinada's pretty torn up about this whole thing because absolutely no one likes him. However, his loan shark reveals he does. Takasugi was apparently his first and only fan those 15 years back, and that autographed ball, yeah, that was his. The whole penis shredding factory and taking my paycheck, that was much in the manner of an insane ex, a respect thing or whatever. So after one more unconscious body, we steal a cell phone and give the guy in charge a call. It's Shinada's old baseball coach, Fujita. He's forcing my friends to kill me and was responsible for the match fixing and my scandal. So to prepare for the confrontation, I go to the dirt cheapest brothel in the area and hire a middle-aged woman of the night that is the spitting image of him. Okay, great, I feel more confident about this. Firstly though, time to get paid. I call the masked man over and he hands me the 20 milli. However, dear viewer, this guy's true identity is not part of the Nagoya family. Nor is it a federal agent sent to me after the loincloth man honeypot didn't work. Don't ask questions, I don't have answers. He's Daigo Dojima, who is alive. His relation to me is as a fellow high school student that beat up a rival baseball team so the Wyverns could win, and I don't know why. He feels bad about the predicament I'm in, so he left the Tojo clan like 4 days ago, which promptly imploded, whoopsies, to give me my job back. Shinada isn't that happy that he's being given back his chance by criminals, but whatever. Anyway, Daigo leaves the money at the door and asks me to... Takasugi appears at my apartment to find it empty with his ball and his 2 million in debt money, and I threw in a 1,800% tip since he was such a nice guy. Because with his face rearranged, Daigo was more lenient to letting me go with him to Tokyo, but before then, I had to meet the pitcher from that game 15 years back. I could tell he's happy to finally meet me with that gun at my forehead, but he elaborates the entire Nagoya family was under the thumb of the Omi, and a Yakuza dude shows up behind to kill me too, but the pitcher plugged him by showing me a hand signal to dodge. Now, after 2 baseball guys beat up 40 Yakuza foot soldiers somehow, we set up to recreate that home run and oh god, quick time! Oh my god. Oh my god. Cut to Coach Fujita having a nice conversation with the obscured cop dude wearing murder gloves. I'm gonna give you 3 guesses as to what happened to Coach Fujita. Kiryu shows up to Tokyo in pursuit of what happened to the mad dog of Shimano and notices Bubba is there stalking him. I'm gonna give this guy 5 big blues. Now believing in dragons with just enough of his face left to talk, Bubba reveals there's someone pulling the strings, him and Stooge Ones. And that man is, whoa, camera cutaway, that was weird. Saejima has been brought here to Tokyo by Cop Dude, and Kitsuya is here too. If Sage Mo wants to find out what he's doing, we need that CCP spy hub, but by now you're probably wondering where Mook 2 is in all this. He's currently having a debate in the Fight Club, placing very nuanced anti-breathing arguments. He tells me ever since Stooge 1 betrayed everyone and left, he's had no clue what to do, so Saejima delivers another cryptic sermon and we're throwing hands. So after getting into the ring, once he's been annihilated, the owner of the whole traditional red light district says he'll tell us where he is in exchange for that fight. Stooge 1 is in the police station. The police station basement. He's in the morgue. As it turns out, Cop Dude put Katsuya's prints at Coach Fujita's murder scene, and Mutase is a little bit mad about it. Katsuya, meanwhile, is bribing Akiyama with the 300 million and then some to cancel Haruka's concert. If rejected, Haruka will probably get shot. Akiyama rejects it. After taking 9 steps, Akiyama heads back to his Tokyo office for some much-needed sleep, but sees an unhinged, insane broke man on his couch. Shinada. And crazy story, but he needs 300 million to cancel a concert. After clearing up the misunderstanding that we want her to get shot, Akiyama and Shinada leave to investigate one of Kitsuya's businesses, and the president of which hands us a selfie of Kitsuya, Majima, and Park, explaining all of them were good friends and that Park's agency and Kitsuya's agency were just pretending to have beef that whole time. What? Cut to Katsuya, cheeked up and geeked up.
Don't mess with us Yakuza fans. We like men.
We learn Katsuya is currently at the top of O Block post-Majima reconstruction, and both Kiryu and Saejima run over for completely heterosexual reasons. We're given the choice to play as either of them, so taking into account my PTSD from this part crashing 90% of the way through in Yakuza 4, I pick Tiger Saejima and begin turning these Yakuza men into victims. Saejima, then Kiryu, and then Watase for some reason, I'll show up to Katsuya's office for him to bring us to the roof to explain that none of us here is the mastermind behind all this, and to find that out, there needs to be one of us remaining, and proposes the Fortnite Battle Royale. So after 3 more fights, Fortnite, the 7th chairman of the Yomi Alliance shows up, cop dude, just in time for him to shoot all of us. Yeah, remember the mole he told everyone about? That guy pulling everyone's strings? That was him. Fortunately though, Daigo shows up to get shot. Thanks, Daigo. Alright, so technically Haruka's concert had already been cancelled, but they made a deal with Osaka Enterprises to make the new Dreamline event if she performs alongside T-Zeta. Make no mistake though, she's still probably going to be assassinated by Cop Dude. Cut to the Yakuza bar, Kiryu is doing his finest fence slump as everyone else discusses this photo. Daigo, Katsuya, and Majima are the only people that fully know what's going on and why everything revolves around Majima's letter. Everything would make a lot more sense if he was alive. Cut to Majima currently alive, so there you go. As stated before, Haruka's life is in danger, but you see, they have to chance her head being blown off in front of thousands of people to fulfill Park's dream. Yeah, maybe don't. Kiryu, after getting Narcant, has no problem with not calling it off because he's a peanut-brain chimp, we know that, and also Shinada. Okay, yeah, nice to see you too. Anyways, after getting word that Majima was taken hostage and the Millennium Tower was seized again, we all show our faces to witness straight-up actual domestic terrorism. After somehow resolving that issue, we decide that Akiyama and Kiryu are gonna stay back and fight Big Jimmy, Shinada is going to prevent the assassination, and Saejima is going to do the very important thing of pulverizing Majima himself. First up, Saejima has just made his way on top of that big tall thing, and Cop Dude says the sniper is waiting on his signal. Majima tells me that the expulsion letter kicking me from the Yakuza, yeah, that was written by him, because A, he's crazy, B, he's sad, and C, melodrama. He calls me a liberal soy boy snowflake, and we begin fighting. One of us has to kill each other, and yes, middle-aged men can use shadow clone jutsu. So eventually you manage to... Suddenly, we stop fighting, and Cop Dude wonders why and threatens to call the shot, but surprise, the assassin was Bubba, and he didn't really feel like it. And on his way out, he's confronted by an unhinged, insane Shinada. Shinada begins the most baffling monologue in the history of human communication. I have no clue what he's talking about. So begins the next logical progression in that conversation with the greatest backdrop of any fight in this franchise, and all it took was this plot and this walking, talking menopause. Please avert your eyes from the Google slideshow over there, though. After dealing with him, Shinada begins watching the show because it's like $5 for a ticket and you take who you can get, but doesn't happen to know that Bubba is attempting to use his favorite coping mechanism, which is to kill... Oh yeah, never mind, man. Your other cellmates and the guard that let us off came all the way here just for you. Just then, he gets a call. It's Shinada's debt shark telling him he's real grateful for the change and all his friends got released from jail. And our favorite brothel prostitute is real sorry and is going to call Shinada a good boy. What a wonderful ending, and good timing too. He's going to the Tanimura then. Cut back to the top of the Millennium Tower where Cop Dude is watching him shriek into the camera like an unmedicated child as Daigo and Katsuya limp their way up and kill all of his guards. Cut again to ground level. Kiryu's leaving because the Tojo clan's getting overthrown again, which leaves Akiyama to fight off Big Jimmy and his guys, which is not all that exciting. Alright, yep, Akiyama, your screen time is over. You get no more for the rest of the franchise. Alright, go to your spot on the backseat bus. It's right there, yeah, next to Rosa Parks. Kiryu stumbles into the Tojo clan HQ. We've bought time for the clans to get together and ally, prevented the assassination, and took down Cop Dude. Now there's only one thing not accounted. Mook 2, killer of Stooge 1 and son of Cop Dude. Okay, Aizawa. He's called Aizawa. See, this whole time, Cop Dude was dying of stage 4 ligma, and in an attempt to create some sort of legacy, orchestrated this elaborate series of events so his son could inherit the 2 largest criminal empires in the state. The funny part, Aizawa doesn't really understand nor care. Man has no clue why he's the final boss. It's time for us to fight for a dream with the Yakuza 5 OST Battle for the Dream as Haruka performs the song Dream in the Dreamline event in Yakuza 5 Fulfiller of Dreams. At this point, you may have some questions like where did he get the 7 health bars and what's going on, but mostly you should be asking if violence is really the answer. Yeah, personally, I for one have not encountered a problem that cannot be haymakered into a bloody pulp. Alright, good job, Kiryu. Go bleed out in the snow now. Haruka finishes the performance and takes up to the stand to make a speech. Everyone's watching. Bubba and Shinada from the center field stands, everyone on the Millennium Tower, the entire Yakuza, the whole Yakuza's there. She says she's quitting the idol business, effective immediately, and also, even though he might be big and scary and a little bit severely autistic, she's proud to have Kiryu Kazuma as a father. That was a bad idea. She shouldn't have done that. Yakuza 6 happened specifically because that was a bad idea. Alright, yep, that was the largest one of these I've ever made, and I've lost my mind. Since this series takes up a solid 70% of my brain space, next up is the pirate game, which should be done relatively fast. I don't know, it depends on how early they let me out of the asylum. And I think we've all learned a very valuable lesson today. I think